We are Blue Hour Group. We've been going 20 years. We're an event and technical production company based in the UK, also with office in Belgium. And we provide event production services to most of the top agencies around the UK and Europe. And we do jobs globally. So we started from a foothold of, I sat with the managing director and we talked about what we wanted to do and what we wanted to achieve. And we decided that actually gaining our ISO accreditations and increasing our ESG score was our priority for us for over the next 5 years. So then it was my job to find, research and implement the right systems and processes for us to be able to progress us from nothing to at least to ISO accreditations. From my point of view, the key thing that stood out was I went through 3 or 4 different companies, looked at them for their different features, what was available as a kind of an add-on basis, what was chargeable, and then also what the scope was for each company, how much they did, how much was automated, how much was one-on-one, how much was your own input. And Hicomply stood out for us because as a business and the way we're set up, I just felt the system itself and the portal and the way you can use it and its flexibility best suited our own skill sets as a business. So it allowed us to be able to do what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. But I felt then the Hicomply platform above all the others allowed it to run in tandem with the business. So it didn't pull me away from the business for hours and hours on end, and then kept me able to focus on what I needed to focus on, but at the same time give me enough headspace to be able to focus on the Hicomply and the compliance piece at the same time. I think the key benefit for streamlining for us was having a portal that was able to capture effectively for us all the evidence that we were getting on a day-to-day basis, and we didn't really have a way to sort through it or be able to then mark it in the right way. And the Hicomply portal works great because you can automate all of that, and we can send all of that into the system, and the system will flag it and almost have it ready for our own internal audit. So that what it allowed us to do then was be able to go in and look at it, section it all out how we wanted it, and then what we were doing from a policy perspective then was be able to build policies and build procedures around that we could then feed directly into the actual portal. Along with working with Zoe, she allowed us to kind of hone our own policies and processes to be able to help us bridge the gap. So we made sure we were actually covering what we were meant to cover from an ISO perspective and weren't missing anything. And also as well, one of the key things I find is that when you're in it, the actual platform itself is very intuitive. So it allows you to, the way my brain works is I compartmentalize everything into sections. And for me, Hicomply is a mimic of my brain in that I have all my sections in there. So I can think in the same way that the Hicomply works. So it makes it really easy for me to find things, look for things, and it's a natural linking process for me. But then I've also found Beth, who's our support, she has exactly the same kind of processes. So she found the same thing happen to her as well, where when you're running through the system and we're doing updates and we're doing our weekly catch-ups on the IMS, we were finding that we're actually saving ourselves a lot of time because we were able to just run through the system, and the monitors inside it and all of the reference points and the dashboard allowed us to pick up on the key topics we needed to deal with, but we could also see what topics we'd already dealt with and how long ago we dealt with them, and we could set recurring features to be able to bring them back again at the right point in time. So yeah, there is an abundance of features there, so it's very hard not to just list out every single one from 1 to 100, but there's so many in there. But I think for us, the time saving and how intuitive the actual platform is, I think is one of the key catalysts to how speedy you can get through it without rushing it. Efficiency wise in the business, I think the key milestone we found with Hicomply was that we were able to set the portal running because you can have separate ISOs in separate positions on there allowed us to focus on different ones, but then also allowed us also to bring them together if we have elements that link, and the function inside it of being able to link policies and documents to multiple ISOs rather than having to have that repetition of placing them on each individual ISO makes it really useful, especially when we go through an internal audit ourselves. It was giving us the ability to look across all the policies, all the procedures, all of our KPIs, and be able to work out what was the most efficient way to move forward, collect the evidence, and be able to record our findings as well. And in some cases, we were finding that some of our findings were across 2 or 3 ISOs, and we're able to deal with them with one objective, which made it really helpful for us. And I would say saved us hours, if not almost days, in regards to the amount of admin we would have done if we were doing it all manually ourselves and trying to record that evidence. It starts at the very top, ironically. You would think, I think with a system like Hicomply, that it would work really well with the support team, etc., and as well with all of the required reading that comes from it and the user groups you set up. You would have that onboarding with the rest of the team. But from my point of view, I found that from the leadership side and the top management down, what it allowed us to do was be able to show what our processes were, what objectives we were meeting, and give the board some understanding of their roles and responsibilities, because I think sometimes it kind of almost gets overlooked that the board might not necessarily know exactly what their roles and responsibilities are. And we found Hicomply was really good at being able to hone down those things, show them the dashboard and let them understand. And you've got the trust page as well, so we're able to bring that up live and show them what kind of roles and responsibilities there are that sit within that from a C-suite perspective, right the way down to our team as a whole, and how they work from a day-to-day basis, and what information they would take from Hicomply as part of their day-to-day responsibilities. So it really did allow me at the top level to communicate in board meetings, and be able to show efficiently what we were doing, our progress each month to month for the IMS and the QMS, and as we built on our ISOs each year on year, the education piece is there, I think, and the knowledge piece for the board that allows them to then be given exactly the same, I suppose, story or explanation to the rest of the team as to what we're doing, why we're doing it, and also how we're doing it as well. I think support-wise, it's fantastic, because what you don't get with some of the other platforms is you don't get the one-on-one, you don't get the one person, the consistency of a single person who's able to kind of come and chat to you, catch up with you, and also give you a bit of guidance, because there's always going to be something that you don't quite know exactly where it may be, or you'll have forgotten, or likewise there'll be some changes, some efficiencies that have happened that then Zoe was able to just come back to us and say, by the way, did you know we can now do this, and we can link that to that, and we can record the evidence here. So yeah, it's a real kind of breath of fresh air, because then the Hicomply team then feel like an extension of our ISO team as opposed to just a supplier. So which is how we like it to be, because we work the same way as ourselves, as a company with our clients. So it's quite nice to have that mirror happening as a team as a whole. The real success has been in using Hicomply to gain the ISOs we've gained and to increase our ESG score as we've done. Being a BGF portfolio company, it means that what we've got now is we've got the maximum exit value should we want it. But also moving into the future, there are some more ISOs that I think over time we'll be needing. So it gives us a great platform to be able to just be able to bolt those ISOs on. And it doesn't feel like a challenge anymore now. It feels like that we could do any ISO we want to, because the platform allows us to give us that confidence to do it. And then when it comes to commerciality, especially talking with clients, the difference the ISOs make to us are literally as simple as winning a job or winning an event or winning a project that we might not normally have won because we didn't have those ISOs or that ESG score as we do.